So on to the best ending song. We're looking for the same types of things with an ending song. You want repeatability, and I think one of the additions to ending songs is you want it to sort of mellow you out of the series. So you watch it, and the good ending songs, which is it's much harder than opening songs, because opening songs are upbeat, make you get interesting, find out about the characters. Ending songs are kind of like, at the last episode, you want it to sort of lean you out of the series, just sort of get you out softly, you know, just sort of remember about the whole journey that you had through that series. And there's one song this year that really made you feel like, I wish this episode never ended, because it was just so interesting and made it just the series seem so much more cool and fun overall.
Yeah, and for me with ending songs, it usually gets sort of the back seat in an anime in general, because usually they're not as interesting as the opening song. And I'll testament to this is I usually don't really like ending songs all that much, but this particular ending song I adored so much more than the opening to this series, that it just hands down made me want, as you said, the series to never end. I wanted it just to keep going on and on and on. And so, without further ado, the song that we chose as the best ending of 2009 is... Don't Say Lazy from K-On!
Yeah, so I mean, we really did enjoy these songs. These songs really entitled themselves to their series, and K-on's ending just really fit it. It really had the energy that their band had, and it was actually sung by the band members that were in this show and whatnot. And I mean, it just fit the series so crisply that it just, you couldn't help but love it. And it seems that's definitely true for our fans, because they also picked Don't Say Lazy by K-On! For the viewer's choice 2009 ending song for anime.
The next award we're going to give out is for Best Animation of 2009. So what this means is we're just really talking about is the overall look of the series. We're talking, backgrounds, character designs, fluidity of animation. This has nothing to do with the actual content of the anime itself, where it comes to, character development and whatnot, just the sort of outside appearance of how the anime looks. So my pick for Best Animation of 2009, I will say it's kind of cheating, is Kara no Kyokai. So Kara no Kyokai has just gorgeous, jaw-dropping visuals on, an extremely high level. Why I say it's sort of cheating is that it's actually developed for the theater, so it's movie animation quality. So it's really high-end, not, small studios or whatnot. So even though it's kind of cheating, I think it's still sort of valid, because this really, the look of the series is just fantastic. My jaw dropped hundreds of times throughout the series of Kara no Kyokai, and I think it still wholeheartedly deserves this pick.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, because you have to decide if Kara no Kyokai counts as theater quality, because it's almost undeniable that the actual quality, as in like man hours put into the animation, must have been much higher than almost any normal budget series. And I gotta say though, if we did include as a rule, Kara no Kyokai also hands down won for me, because it just was so above and beyond any other series of the year, and I just loved its look and feel. And it's like, I've gotta tell people that's the best animation. If you're looking for amazing quality animation, that's the series you want to look at. I mean, it is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Now our viewers actually had a different opinion from us. They actually picked Clannad After Story as their pick for Best Animation 2009. I can definitely see why they did this, because it uses, well, for starters, Clannad was done by Kyoto Animation, which has a very nice sort of clean look, very typical anime, big-eyed characters and whatnot, and a lot of people are drawn to that sort of look, so I can definitely see why they picked it, and just overall it has nice fluidity in its animation, and it is really top quality from a studio-based setting, but I don't know, I just think overall Kara no Kyokai is just way higher.
Yeah, I mean, it does have the KyoAni look, and the KyoAni look is expensive looking. I mean, there's a lot of detail in the characters, they have good movement, and just overall, I mean, Bones, like, there's just a few, and Production IG have, like, these series that really have this high production qualities, and so for that aspect, I think that it would have to be one of those studios that would win this pick, and they picked Planet After Story because it's one of the popular series for the year, and it really does have a nice look to it. Our next category is Best Male Lead. So this should be a little bit obvious. It's who we thought was the best male lead character in an anime role. So, we'll get right into it. And so there was one series in particular that I felt needs to be mentioned here because it didn't win any awards for us, really, because it just has such a faltering track. It basically gets worse and worse as it gets along. And that series is Eden of the East. Honestly, we both respect the series a lot. We really thought highly of it at the beginning. But you've got to admit, if you've seen the series, that it slips a bit as it goes along, and it just feels very unfinished and unfulfilled as it goes on, so it's hard for us to give it any sort of awards. However, I felt that the main character, Takizawa Akira, the main male character, he was just amazing. Right from the first scene you see him in the series, you are drawn to him. He is so charismatic and interesting as a character that you can't help but being interested in watching him throughout the entire series.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it right here, too. My pick was also Akira from Eden of the East. He just has that sort of, male lead stance factor. Like, this is the guy you want to know what he's going to do through the series. You're drawn to him, as he said. He just has that sort of it factor. And even though the series does falter, as he said, as it goes on, I felt the same thing. It's just that all throughout the series, I just was waiting to see what Akira was going to do, hoping that maybe he was going to do something so awesome that would just bring the series back up to the level that I loved from the beginning. Didn't quite happen, but still, I was so rooting for this character throughout the entire series that I definitely thought he deserved the win for this one.
But the viewers seem to have a differing opinion than us. They actually picked Takasu Ryuji from Toradora. So he's the main male love interest main character of Toradora, and he certainly has an interesting journey throughout the series. There's no doubt about that, but I find it surprising that he wins male lead only because he is mildly generic as a main character. He doesn't have too many qualities that seem radically interesting for a main character. He just goes through a really good journey. Mm-hmm. So you felt basically the same way?
Yeah, I mean, he does go through the interesting journey. It's just that I think he does have that sort of jumping. I can totally see why they picked him because he is a very sort of strong character. He has a lot of strong development all throughout the series. It's just that I just felt Akira had a little bit more, of the drawn factor to him. I was more drawn to Akira than I was to Ryuji, but I could still see Ryuji as a pretty solid pick.
All right.
Okay, so now, on contrary to male, we're going to go and talk about Best Female Lead for an anime 2009. This essentially is just the sort of gender reversal of the last category. So my pick for Best Female Lead, I'm just going to come out and say it, is Onozawa Mirai from Tokyo Magic 8.0. So now the reason why I picked Mirai in comparison to other characters is that I just was really drawn into her overall journey. I mean, she starts the series as this sort of stubborn kid, doesn't really, want to do anything. Her family's sort of like uninterested her and whatnot, and she's stuck here in this situation with her brother, and she's got, I just want to go home, I don't want to deal with this. But over the course of, 11 episodes, she grows up really radically. So you can actually see her growth over the course. And when it gets to the end of the series, she has this huge, amazing revelation that just really wraps it all up. And it's just fantastic. I love seeing growth of characters, not just instantly, but over the course of the entire series. And Mirai, for me, just had it. And for sure, I definitely had to pick her.
Yeah, for me, I actually picked Isaka Taiga from Toradora. And now, while I didn't pick Ryuji because I felt he was a bit generic, Taiga actually had a lot of stuff going for her. Because she was just a wild child. She's so different from the typical, I'm beautiful, I'm nice, kind, whatever, female that, Japanese men seem to like a lot because they're always at the beginning of series. She really has this mini tiger feel to her, or should I say palm top tiger feel to her. And I mean, she's ferocious, and you find out from her history, and it always does remain a bit mysterious throughout the series, exactly what makes her the way she is. But I mean, she needs help, but at the same time, she's so aggressive towards everyone. And I like this whole dynamic to her character, and the amount of development and disappointment she goes through throughout the series is just amazing to watch. And I mean, she has brought some of the most insane tears for a particular person to my eyes ever in a series. So I mean, for me, she made it easily to top female lead.
Okay, and I guess it seems the viewers agreed with you. They also picked Taiga as their best female lead of 2009. And I can definitely see. I think Taiga is also just an amazing female lead, probably one of the best in anime I've ever seen. It's just that I had a little bit more connection with Mirai than I did with Taiga, but still, Taiga, fantastic development, great backstory, just really solid character overall.